Welcome to episode 16 of the Seed to Harvest series. Go check out our backlog. We went all the way back to germination to where we are now. These girls are in week 6 flower. We're going to talk about what we're going to do in there. Week 3 flower for both these tents here. So now we're slowing up on the training because we stopped training in week 3. So we're pulling leaves, maybe doing a little more super cropping in here, but getting it ready for that end of stretch. So they're still stretching, as you can see, but we're getting close to the point where we can stop training. They're going to stop stretching and we'll just be watering. These girls right here have bounced back tremendously from the predator mites. If you've been following along, you know we had some serious issues in here and they couldn't be happier. We ended up having a male in here. We had a DNA test gone wrong maybe. We used Farmer Freeman, and I've heard a couple people had some false reports. So hopefully it was a herming. I mean, I know that's not good on my end for it to herm, but I don't want Farmer Freeman to be giving out bad results because this could be crucial to someone's garden. Pill bug issues getting contained. This one over here is doing amazing. Got some funky growth and a rump back here, but they're looking really good. They're all starting to pre-flower. And then the tray to grow back there really starting to stretch her wings and everything looking beautiful here. So we'll talk about what we want to do in there. And then we got some exciting news. We got some jalapeños starting to pop on here. So I'm really excited for this. Jalapeños. And then we got some banana peppers. We still got a little lime green. We want to see them get a little bit more yellow before we harvest them, but they're looking good, and we got a bunch of them for a very small plant in a 3x3. It's a really fun veggie run, our first time running them, and I loved it, and I'm gonna run more. So let's go ahead and let's dive into this thing. Week 6 on the Luna All Day Moon Diesel. We have 3 plants in here in a 1-month veg. So that's why we planted 3 in here, was to have a quicker veg. We could have planted 1. We could plant many more, but we wanted to get a quick veg. We were able to do that. You can see in here, we got lazy. This you should clean up. You don't absolutely have to. If you want better yield, you want to clean it up. But if you have good airflow, you don't have to clean it up like we're not here, because as you can see, we got plenty of tops on here. So we'll wash the rest or turn it into edibles or anything like that. So right now we're in week 6. We have not been training for 3 weeks. We've been literally just watering only with our faucet, and I'm loving the results. We're starting to get a lot of great pre-flowers going here. So you don't want to do any training. Dropping the humidity. We're at 60% humidity, and we'll drop that to 55% next week. But you can see we got some trichomes starting to form on the girls, and you see that white little hairs popping off here. Those are the trichomes in early development, and they'll keep stacking. So these pre-flowers, we were unable to get a complete even canopy, but I'm pretty happy with this 1,000-watt light from Acinfinity to be able to get enough ppfd on the girls. We're about 800 ppfd right now, and we'll stick with that for 1 more week, and then we'll jump up to about 900, 950, and then last week maybe jump into 1,000. So environment's good, plants looking good. We're watering only. We got a new humidifier. This is the T7 from Acinfinity Cloud Forge. This right down here is the T3, so we're upgrading for the 4x4. This will work, but you're gonna have to fill it more, probably 2-3 times a week. This one right here, I can fill once a week and be good. So I highly recommend that. Canopy will always save you off on Acinfinity products. Over here to the VivoSun 4x4 week 3 flower. Let's jump in. This is the Sierra de Levant from Kid Kaya. Dude's got amazing genetics, great guy. So we'll jump into more traits about where this genetic lineage comes from in the next few weeks. But right now, we're in week 3 flower, so we're slowing up training. But we're going to do a little more super cropping. So if we come down here, and you can see everything's pretty much level. But this one right here could be super cropped a little bit. So we're going to come in here, and we're just going to pinch it and roll it a little bit. You'll feel that crunch, and you're going to lay it down. So now that's going to slow that growth, because it's going to try to heal this wound, and it's going to allow everything else to keep growing. And that way, when this finally heals, it's going to maintain that height of everything else, so you can blast PPFD and get even coverage on here. So week 3 flower. So that's what you're doing, is you're doing some super cropping. You want to pull leaves here, so you can see this leaf right here is covering that undernode right there. So we're going to pull that off of there. Down in here. And like I said, you can always go crazier. The more you clean up your canopy, leave some good fan leaves like this one right here, blocking. I know that this node has a very healthy, beautiful solar panel, if you want to call it that. So pulling this is not going to hurt anything, but it's also going to uncover 3 more nodes. So that's the idea of defoliation of flower, is don't go too crazy if you don't have time. But these plants are resilient. They can take a heavy defoliation. So you can see all this, you know, cluster in here. So we'll come in here, we'll pull this off, pull this one off. So now we have 2 more nodes, 3 even, for uncovering that. So each node works off its own solar panel. So this leaf right here is working off of this branch. So if I take something next to it that's on a different branch and it's still got a good fan leaf, I'm not disrupting anything. It's still harming the plant because you're pulling parts of it off, but it's not slowing growth down. You want to just keep enough solar panels, fan leaves, if you want to call them, whatever you want to call them. I just want you to understand that these collect the light and do everything for the new node and works together. So you can pull these off as much as you want, or you can leave as little as you want, as long as your environment's on point. Like we always talk about, we're big environmentalists. If your environment's on point, you have good lighting, you can do a lot of wonders in the garden, even with bad garden practices. So keep pulling off these leaves here. Pulling inner leaves is always a good idea. This cluster right here, come in here and pull this off. And now you got more exposed. So that's what you're trying to do, is expose these under nodes so they can climb up and get that even PPFD. So since we're in week 3 flower of both these tents, we're still about 68% humidity, 78 degrees. So we're still in that veg VPD. But after week 3 is when we start getting to the flower VPD, that 1.2 to 1.5. So let's go over here and talk about the girls in this tent. Welcome to the 8x8. We got a lot going on in here. We've had a lot of issues, but we're bouncing back and everything's green and healthy. So that's the key. And what I want to talk about is we had the predator mite issues and we had the pill bug issues back in that bed. But you can see not to give up in a grow, because we could have literally just called it because they were very deficient. Seriously, go back and check out our last episodes. These were looking so horrible. They weren't even close to growing on point, because these are proof that these weren't growing. You can see the health on these girls and the vigor on them, but we got them back to health. So keep pushing. Don't give up on the grow. You can always correct things. Just do it before you flip the flower. And that's why these vegged for 7 weeks, because we wanted to get everything healthy before we flip the flower so they can focus on bud production. You can see here we got a plant missing. We found a male. We used Farmer Freeman DNA results, and I don't know if it's a false positive or if a hermaphrodation of the plant, but these are telling me that I think it was a false positive on Farmer Freeman's. I'm not badging or putting anyone down, but I've had quite a few comments about people that have had the same issue. So Farmer Freeman, I don't know yet. We've just started using this. The 3rd time we use them. This is the first problem we've had, so we're not going to hold anything against them. We had some issues with the predator mites in here, so we're going to chalk that up to the hermaphrodites that just had too much stress from the predator mites. But they bounced back really well. They're looking really good. We're bending them down. You can see we got bud clips going on in here. The reason I'm not going too crazy super cropping is because we're getting pre-flowers a lot sooner than I usually get. So we're not going to stress them too much, because when I do super crop at this stage, I feel like they take longer to grow back up, because they're not worried about growing branches and leaves anymore. They're worried about bud production. So it takes them longer to bounce back. But we're trying to even this up as much as possible so we can get good PPFD. Tray to grow back here. This is the one to where we just re-amended it. We did a top dress in the middle of veg. We fill this reservoir. It's a bottom wicking system, so we're not doing any watering. We just let that wick system water it on its own. So Autopot USA, this is really clutch. I really like this system. We had amazing success. We ran the Westlow double dose diesel in here last time, and it filled this whole 4x4 quadrant. So if you grow Westlow genetics, when you hear something about plants doubling and tripling in size, these will triple in size. Like I said, go back and check last episodes and see how big this has grown in the last 2 weeks. But we have copycat genetics in here. This is called the One. So literally set it, forget it. She's doing good. We'll do a little bit more training in here. Like we talk about leaves that are covering nodes up top, pull them off there if they're on different branches. So this one right here, we're going to pull this off. We're going to pull this off. So now you can see all of these unders are exposed. Over here to the pill bug bed. Got funky growth going. This one's really, look, you can see a pill bug climbing on top there. So we obviously have not figured out how to get rid of these completely, but they're overran. The whole bed's wiggling. So we're going to slowly finish this harvest, and then we're really going to treat that. We're going to till up the soil. We're going to add some ground mustard seed. We're going to do some IPM treatments on there, but it's not totally affecting this bed because this one's doing really good, and I didn't want to stop the growth and cut all this down and try to fix it mid-growth. So we'll see how these do with a lot of stress on them. We got a runt back there. This is also copycat genetics. The one, these two are the one, and this is the Blue Magic, I believe it's called. So that's genetics, this weird funky stuff going on in here, but the rest of it is due to pill bug issues. But they're still looking pretty good. Normally we would have scrugged this, but we didn't because we're just trying to nurture them back to health, just to limp them into flower. And they're bouncing back pretty good for the most part. If you've been following along, you know that these girls are suffering, but they're doing good. It just shows you can make mistakes in the garden. Nobody's perfect, but that's why we got a big garden. That way we still get yield without a bunch of problems. So this one right here, this is the Menno Dope Boy Goat Genetics collab, unnamed. So this is exclusive seeds, first out on the market. Really excited to see how these are going to smoke. We're just bending them down, doing some training, so you can see how we super cropped right here, and it's still kind of limping back. That's why we kind of stopped super cropping. We just noticed slower bounce back time. We didn't want to stress anything out. So other than that, we're pulling leaves, we're exposing all these unders here. You can really clean this up and go exotic in the garden. A lot of people like to clean up to the top 3 nodes. So that would be 1, 2, 3, and this down would get taken. And then you can get amazing flower production if you're trying to get only flowers. So like I said, you can lollipop and clean this up a lot. We just don't have time, and we have a big garden, and I'm trying to preach easy gardening. So you can still get yield without doing a bunch, but you can always go the extra mile and defoliate a little bit more. So we are week 3 flower like we talked about. We have the Grandmaster LED Explorers in here, 4 of them. And you see we got 2 different shades of light. This white one is that cool white, and this is the orange is that warm white. So the cool white was more for veg, you know, tight internodal spacing. The warm white is going to allow for stretching. So we're kind of going in between because we want them to stretch, but we want them to still have tight node stacking. So that's why we've controlled the Grandmaster LED controller over here to where we're at 50% right now. So we're not even using the full capacity of the light, and we're at 900 ppfd. I usually don't run them that high this early, but I just want to see what's going on. I want to see if you can push these without a bunch of CO2. We get CO2 from the family and the animals and stuff, but we're not doing anything extra. We're not doing any top dressing other than the tray to grow. We will top dress it next week. We're going to top dress that. That way it has a little bit of food to end flower, just because last run we had some deficiency issues. So beautiful environment on point. We're just watering now, doing a little training, and then after this week we're just watering. So we have this whole garden in here that we're not doing anything but watering and filling humidifiers. So you'll come down here, fill your humidifiers, water a little bit in here, water a little bit in here. I can water this whole garden in 15-20 minutes if I'm focused on it, and that's it. And you're still going to get amazing yields. Even if you spend more time cleaning this up, you're going to be astounded about the yields you can get, because I'm astounded. And obviously we don't clean up the best we should, and we still get amazing top flowers. So you can garden and be busy and be lazy. It doesn't matter. Just get in the garden, start growing, Gromies. Let's go over here and talk about these banana peppers in the Spider Farmer 3x3 on a smart system, that Grow Genius system. We got everything from temp, PPFD, CO2, volumetric water content back here. So banana peppers, let's look at them. You see they still got a little bit of lime green going on, so we're gonna let them go a little bit longer. We want to see a little bit more yellow in there. The jalapenos are popping. They're a little bit later flower than the banana peppers, but the fact that we're seeing jalapenos is awesome. And we did actually already pull one giant jalapeno just because we wanted to try it. Still pretty earthy, had a little bite to it, a lot of seeds. So we're gonna let these grow out a lot longer. These are looking good though for the most part, Gromies. I love it. Grow any way you can, vegetables, fruits, medicinal plant, just grow. Get in the garden. It's so relaxing. It's so much fun, especially after a long week. We know that you worked, family and everything. This takes the stress off and makes it so much fun. So I appreciate you guys for coming around for episode 16. Stay tuned because shit's about to get crazy in here. As you know, we're going to start stacking in here. We're done training. We're already stacking back here. So we're going to start seeing the fruits of our labor. Lazy labor, because as you know, living soil organic growing is very easy to do without bunch of work, bunch of food, bunch of pHing, a bunch of everything. We're literally just re-amending the dirt, water the dirt, train the plant, let the plant go. All right, Gromies, we'll see you on episode 17. Much love.